Hello, welcome back to Reads of an Apple. My name is Stacy and I'm here to do something super fun today. We are going to do the Apple book tag. Now this was created by Literary Gladiators. I'll link him down below. And this is a book tag where each question focuses on a different kind of apple, and then he has questions related to the different kinds of apples. If you did not know, my last name is Apple, so when I saw this come up on my I'm a blogger, so I have a lot of like book tags that bloggers have done, and I saw this come up on one of my lists of blogger book tags, and I thought, oh, this is perfect. This is super fun, and we're getting right into like good apple season right now, so I figured let's do it. So there are going to be 14 questions. I'm going to try to pick books that are on the front of my shelves without digging too far. But let's see. I might have to add some in, but let's just get into it. So the first apple is Granny Smith, and this is an overbearingly sweet work or character. Overbearingly sweet. This is a hard one. Because I have a lot of sweet characters that I really like, but I wouldn't say that any of them are overbearing. Really? Oh my goodness. It's hard to be cheese proof. I know. Poor baby kitty. Am I not giving you attention? Say, hi everybody. I'm distracting mommy and we're only one question in. Help me pick something sweet. Murr, 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 murr. Sweet. Who is sweet? Are you ready? You're just happy as can be, aren't you? Aren't you? Are you ready? Okay, I'm gonna go. I don't know who to pick, and I'm just standing here with my kitties. So I'm going to. I know. Okay. I'm going to go with Donut Fall in Love, and I'm gonna say Lindsay because she's. Or maybe Ryan. Maybe Ryan. I feel like Ryan might be the more sweet character, even though Lindsay's a baker. But Ryan, he was really sweet. So I'm going to go with that. He's not overbearing. I don't have any physical books of characters that I have overbearingly sweet that I can think of off the top of my head. So I'm just going to go with Ryan because he's very sweet, but in a good way. Wow. Okay, so apple number 2 is Fuji, which is work about a mountain. A mountain? Oh my goodness. hiking, or if they go traveling. Ooh, I'm going to go with A False Start by Elsie Silver, because our hero, why am I spacing on his name? His name is Griff. He is a grumpy Griff. He lives up a mountain above Gold Rush Ranch, and he comes down to visit, and there are some scenes where him and all the characters go up his mountain, and they hang out, and he has like wildflower fields up there. So I'm going to go with A False Start by Elsie Silver. This is the final book in her Gold Rush Ranch series. So this has a mountain. All right, number 3, Red Delicious. A book that would be perfect if it was judged by its cover. So a book that's hard, because I don't buy very many books that I don't really, really like. And that I haven't already read. But what is a book? Ooh. I know. I'm going to go with Under the Highlander's Spell by Donna Fletcher. This is the second book in her in this series. This is the Brothers series. The Sinclair Brothers series. I was not a fan of the heroine too much. So I'm going to say this one because I own almost all of Donna Fletcher's books. I love Donna Fletcher, but this was probably my least favorite so far. So I'm going to go with this one. Then number 4, Golden Yellow Apple, book with yellow on the cover. And I know immediately which one I want. This is one of my favorite historical romances. Of course, it's on the bottom. I'm throwing things around. I'm going to go with West End Earl by Bethany Bennett. Yellow, spine's yellow, back is yellow. One of my favorite historical romances ever. The twist in this, I still cannot get over the twist in this. This book was so great, so great. So this is my go-to yellow book. Number 5, McIntosh, a writer that has influenced or would influence your writing. Okay, that's good. What fell was I have a rock of cheese that my brother's girlfriend painted. That's what fell, and then it knocked a bunch of stuff off with it. But it's not damaged, so that's good. So this is hard. I'm going to go with, and I'm just going to grab this one because it's on the top. Juliet Cross by Wolfgang Wilde. I say this because I'm a huge fan of Juliet Cross. I am a Patreon for her author stuff. I am a Patreon of the podcast that she has with her niece, Jessin. And I also follow Jessin. I love them both dearly. And she, I know, talks a lot about her writing and her writing journey. And she's very kind of open about a lot of things that she does writing wise. So I would say her because she's one of the most open authors that I follow, and maybe because I'm obsessed with everything she puts out there, but I feel like she shows a lot of like behind the scenes information and talks about like the house and behind her writing style. So I would say she would be a big influence just because I know she talks a lot about her planning and things like that. So I'm going to say Juliet Cross. We are to my favorite type of apple, Honeycrisp. And this is a book you've read that is in great demand. A book I've read that is in great demand. Now, I can take this a couple of ways. A book that is very popular but hard to find, or a book that is just super duper popular. Alright, I've done a lot of historicals, so I'm not, or I guess I've done 2 historicals, but I haven't done any fantasy, so I'm going to go with this one. And I have sitting out here. And I'm going to go with A Court of Mist and Fury. This is, I know, a favorite of a lot of people's. Plus, I managed to get the original paperbacks before it switched over to the new style. So I feel like a lot of people look for these ones. I have them in paperback, not hardback. But I try to collect paperbacks over hardbacks because hardbacks are heavy and they take up more space. So I'm going to go with this one. Okay, so number 7, Bladwin, a writer you feel needs recognition due to stunted acclaim. And this is due to something that happened to them or premature death. And this is easy for me. I'm going to go with Catherine Caskey. This is the first book in her triplet series. Gosh, what are their names? Royal. It's a Royal triplet series. This is How to Seduce a Duke. I found this book, and if you're wondering, the cover goes all the way around, which is super fun. I have all of her books right here. These 2 sections are all of her books. There is a 4th book in her 7 Deadly Sins series that is out there that was published as an ebook at some point, but I have never been able to find. So I don't know, but she passed in, I want to say 2007 or 2017. Okay, yeah, this came out in 2006, so maybe it was 2017. But I know that I don't know. Don't quote me on that. But I know that once I found this and I read this and I became obsessed with this book and with this series, and specifically, I love her meet cutes in these. So good. And then when I was looking into the rest of her books to continue binge reading her, I found out that she had passed. So that was a really sad moment, and I hope that she is happy wherever she is. And I still have not read the last trilogy that I have of hers because I don't want to have no more books by her. But I love Catherine Caskey, and I haven't heard very many people talk about her. The only thing is the 2nd book in this series, I know people talk about a lot. And that's because that's How to Engage an Earl. That's because the cover is a wraparound. So it's her holding on to like his cravat, which is super cool. So I've seen a lot of people post this for like Step Back Saturday and Cover Lust Fridays, but I haven't actually seen anybody actually read it and review it outside of myself. So I love Catherine Caskey. Okay, number 8, Empire, a work about or set in New York. New York. Most of these are my historicals. I don't think I have very many paranormals or fantasy set in New York. And I don't read a lot of big city books very often. The only one I can think of is maybe Joanna Shoup. And this is the only one I have in the front. So I'm going to do this one because a lot of Joanna Shoup's books are set in the Gilded Age in New York City. So I'm going to go with Joanna Shoup because I know most of her historicals, at least, are set in New York City. So I'm going to go with her. Okay, number 9. We are flying through these. Gala, work that fits under many genres. Well, I mean, I don't have very many books that cross genres, but the one that comes to mind is Donna Fletcher's Whispers in the Winds. This is a historical romance set in 1808. It's also a paranormal. It also has a mystery, so I can see how some people could call it like cozy mystery or something like that. So that would be 3 different genres, 2 under romance. So I think this is probably the one that has the most. I don't read very many books that cross subgenres, and if I do, it's usually ones like this where it's a historical paranormal, but this one also has the mystery aspect, so I'm gonna go with this. And this is a standalone by Donna Fletcher. Okay, number 10, Ambrosia, a long work that was easy to follow. Well, the longest book I've read recently is A Court of Mist and Fury, but we've already done that one. So I'm going to go with I don't read thick books too often, so I'm gonna pull it down. Okay, so I'm going to go with another Sarah J. Maas book, but I'm going to do with the last book I've read in her Throne of Glass series. So this is Heir of Fire, book 3. This month I am reading book 4, so that would be technically longer than this, but I haven't read it yet, so I'm going to go with this one. This Sarah J. Maas's books are very bingeable for me, and I don't get confused while reading her. Yes, there's a lot of little like Easter eggs and threads, so if you miss a thread, then like you aren't really missing anything in the main plot, but there are a lot of like little things that you can notice over and over again that could potentially like increase your enjoyment. But I'm gonna go with this because they're still very easy to read and very quick for me when I read them. We are almost done. So number 11 is A Jazz Apple, a work written or after 2010 that demonstrates freshness and originality. Well, once again, I would think of West End Earl by Bethany Bennett, because the twist in that, but I'm going to go with Emerald Blaze by Ilona Andrews. This is the most recent, at least for a couple more weeks, Hidden Legacy book. This is book number 5, and the way that they world build and the way that this urban fantasy, this is urban fantasy, but it's also a fantasy romance. It's definitely, the romance is a main plot point in these books, so I wouldn't call it just urban fantasy, because usually, to me at least, urban fantasies focus on the fantasy and there is a romantic relationship that is in the storyline, but that's not like a focus. And these I would consider more fantasy romance, but they're the urban fantasy setting. But I would say this because the world building that Ilona Andrews does is just magical and amazing, and I love Hidden Legacy, and I cannot wait for Ruby Fever to come out very soon. But I I'm going to say Emerald Blaze. Plus, the big like fight scene at the end of this completely blew my mind. So, I'm going to go with this one. All right, number 12, Mutsu, which is a big book you indulged. Another big book. Another big book. Well, we've already done 2 Sarah J. Maas that are together. So, do I have any other big books? Okay, this might be cheating, but I'm going to go with it. I'm going to go with Alessa Thorne's Court of the Underworld. This is the first volume of this series that has the first 4 books bound up. We've got Asterion, Medusa, Hades, and Hermes. I binged these books. I love Alessa Thorne. This is Gods of the Underworld. I still have not read the spin-off of this, which is Gods of the Duat, which is Egyptian god retellings. So I definitely need to get back on the Alessa Thorne train, but I'm going to go with this because I binged these all for Pharaoh Feb in 2021, and I read all 4 of these in a weekend. There's 3 other books in this series, and it's his 3 henchmen, and I just lost their names. And I feel horrible now. Does it say in the beginning? No. No, of course it doesn't say in the beginning. Weird. This was printed in Thornton, Colorado. Huh, that's crazy. Let's see if they're at the end. Okay. Thanatos, Charon, and Erebus. So yeah, I'm going to say Alessa Thorne. And technically, this is 4 books in one, but it's thick. And I don't have very many thick books in paperback. So we're going to count it. 13, what is your favorite apple? I already said that before. Honeycrisp is my favorite apple. And then question 14 is apple tree. Tag some people. I would tag you, whoever is watching. If you have a YouTube channel or a blog, definitely do the apple tag as well. I thought these were fun, kind of different questions that made me think a little bit. And I had a lot of fun answering these. And if you do the apple tag, let me know and I will definitely check it out. I hope you enjoyed watching this. I know it was kind of super silly and fun, but I enjoy doing book tags and things like this, and I haven't done one in a little bit, so I'm happy to get kind of back into the swing of doing book tags once a month. Let me know what you thought of any of these answers, or if you have other books that you would use instead for some of these prompts or questions. And let me know down below. But like, comment, subscribe, all that jazz. And I will see you all very, very soon.